let me know when we're ready to rock. All right, we're going. It's happening.
It's happening.
The magic is happening. All right. All right. Well, I always start anyway by saying, hello, this is the Big Comedy Podcast with Jim McHugh and Carolyn Plummer.
Hi, everyone.
Carolyn Plummer's here again. She rocked the house last week. I talked to my good friend, Lieutenant Colonel.
He was very interesting.
Vici. And very cool guy. And then a lot's happened since we got together. Like last week, we couldn't get together because we both had gigs all over
creation
the map. Yeah. I had about 6 St. Patrick's Day-ish comedy shows, and I've never felt more Irish in my life.
I always get left out of those shows because I'm a pasty white English person.
Oh yeah, you're British. That's yeah. Stone her. Didn't we kick you out when we had the revolution here?
I think so. I don't know. My family came over on the Mayflower.
On the Mayflower?
Yep.
So shouldn't you own land?
Probably.
Because the Mayflower was like...
they were all ministers.
We have discovered this land for England. They're like, I will keep Vermont. Bill, what do you want? I will take Rhode Island.
They were all religious people, so they had no money.
I know. They really almost died, most of them.
Yeah.
The first winter. And this is the myth. I don't know. I really don't know how accurate this is, but Thanksgiving is based on the Indians coming and feeding them.
Yeah.
Which was a really bad mistake.
Yeah. You can trust us.
Right there is where it went wrong.
No, you can trust us, really.
They gave enough turkey and gravy sandwiches to make it till springtime. And if they had just let them starve to death, this would still be only Native American. I don't know if that would have happened. They were going to get discovered.
Yeah. I mean, more people started coming over. Too.
Yeah. Free land and venison.
Do you watch The Curse of Oak Island?
No, I think we talked about this though.
Yeah, that tons of people landed on that island, like Norse people and French.
Isn't there supposed to be a large sum of money hidden?
There's a money pit that they're trying. These 2 brothers from Michigan that are trying to find, and Maddie Blake is on it. I
do remember hearing something like that, but I think,
which I'm happy.
That's where the curse starts, because someone tells you there's some money hidden around here somewhere.
Well, they found some of it back in the 1800s, but then people have just been trying to find it since then. But it's booby trapped. And
I was watching a guy one of those metal detector things on the beach the other day.
Yep.
I was thinking, how much could I ruin his life if I just took a pocket full of washers and threw them out there? He'd be like, take a little shovel out there, washer, washer.
Yeah. They find a lot of oxen shoes.
Yeah.
Boring.
I didn't know they shoed oxen. So that was just horses.
No, they do.
Oh, wow.
Because now they're trying to figure out why they were there. They think it's because they're depositing.
Because they're hauling money.
Huge treasure, yeah, from a boat.
And all he got were those shoes.
Yeah. And they haven't found anything significant. But every week I'm like, they're going to find something this week. And I still watch. It's been 5 years.
You ever notice these little videos on Facebook? And they're just created to hold you on in suspense.
Oh, yeah.
What is that all about?
It's about the advertising.
So they hold one was
that's clickbait. That's what it's called.
It was something someone's gonna get off of a jet airplane and they're waiting, and then a little tease thing would happen. Someone would come kind of out a little bit, and then they go back in.
Yeah, nothing ever.
And I was just like, I'm just angry. I won't buy anything. I want my 5 minutes back. You know. And but the money pit, okay.
I don't know. I read that story that they read in Reader's Digest. So for me, it's fascinating because I like the history part.
Right.
But if you're waiting for them to find treasure, you'll be disappointed because they don't find that much. They haven't found the big treasure yet, as far as we know. Maddie Blake might know.
I'll have to call Maddie and get to the bottom of this. He's like, the only treasure is it got picked up for another season.
Yeah, and now he's on another show called Beyond Oak Island, where he actually gets to go to look for treasure in other places. He's doing really well. I'm proud of him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's just funny to see him on the show every week.
You know, once in a blue moon, they do find
they'll find something.
A ship full of old. And the funny thing to me about that is always that the government grabs it as soon as they get on shore.
Yeah.
The guy spends his whole life, goes in debt, loses 3 marriages, finally finds the ship he's always looked for, and the first guy he meets when he gets back is a tax man. They're like, well, it's worth $1 billion, but we're gonna have to tax you $700 million. and a museum has already put a claim in for it because it's historical.
Right, you don't get to keep it.
Doubloons, So then the lawyers you have to fight them for the,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's fascinating though, but it's crazy.
Yeah. Would you quit comedy if you found a buried treasure?
No, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I enjoy it too much.
Yeah.
I think I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it until after the pandemic because we couldn't do it for a year.
Right.
Like I thought maybe I'd made a horrible mistake by doing comedy for over 20 years during the pandemic, but then towards the end and we got to start doing it again, then I was like, no, this is what I think I'm supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
But I went through the whole range of emotions when I wasn't doing any comedy. I think everybody did.
Yeah.
Questioned all your life's choices.
Well, we all, as much as we bitch and moan about every aspect of comedy, I think I always think of comedians that are like professional bitch and moaners. That's like what we're put out there to do.
Like I didn't feel right not being on stage.
Right. But then when you didn't have it anymore, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Now what?
And now I appreciate it so much. Like I have a different attitude towards some of the gigs that I do.
Right.
I don't take it for advantage. Take it, whatever that,
Just cut this part out.
You're frozen.
I still believe the Roaring 20s are coming back. I think there's going to be like people are going to go out.
You mean Prohibition?
Well, the Roaring 20s was, we don't have Prohibition, but we got shut down in almost the same way.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that people are going to really want to go out and do stuff again.
Yeah, I think we're already kind of there.
Yeah.
We're getting there anyway.
Yeah, yes.
Because I think this summer, everyone's going to want to be out and about.
Yeah.
Because we're learning how to live with it now. We're like, okay, we're not going to have a curfew and stay home.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go out and we're going to deal with it. Who knows though? But that's what I think.
I think you're right. So, I'm going to try to get, we both have a good friend, Al Ducharme, and he started out in, I'll let you tell a little bit of this, but from my recollection is he started out in Rhode Island and very quickly got to be a very strong member of the Boston comedy community, but now he's on the West Coast, and Bill Burr had him on his
F is for Family
show. And me and him both were kind of like doing a lot of cruise ships. He's back on Royal Caribbean as we speak. So I can't promise that this is going to work. we're like going to the outer reaches of what our, like this
We're going to find out how good the internet is.
Yeah, we were really going to put it to the test because, who knows what the satellite on his ship is going to do and, and so forth and whatnot. But we're going to at least try. And I think I have to call him. I don't think he knows how to call me. Let me see.
There it is.
I'm going to describe what...
My voice is what's paying the bills. Maybe this is the way to go. My face.
I'm going to describe what I think Al Ducharme is wearing in his room right now.
That's
I think he's got only overalls
with one strap
and a
down.
captain's hat.
I waxed myself for this, and that was just a waste of money.
Wow.
So there you go.
Yeah, you sound fairly
but
good.
But you guys can hear me okay, yeah? Wow.
Yeah, you were
a little
like
robotic
a
at times.
Before.
Okay.
We thought you were just doing a robot voice. We know you're capable of that.
We have 1,800 passengers. Yeah. If I could turn back time. I don't know what song that was of Cher's, but one of them she does a robot voice. But I don't think that was it. That was one of those first
they call it an audio. It corrects the key you're singing in.
Yeah.
What is it? Auto-tune. That's what that is.
I think the song is "I Believe in Love."
Yeah. So that's it.
Auto-tune. If I could turn back time.
Yep.
Yep.
I think we have a
I
slight
can
delay.
feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll work with it. Fire away.
Thanks for being
Thanks for
on,
having me
sort
on.
of.
Sort of.
The spirit of Al Ducharme is here. He's in the room with us, and we're very grateful. I have known Al since the 1900s. He started. I think you blossomed as a
1900s.
comedian in Rhode Island, and then you were replanted into Boston, and then you went on to your circle of places you worked was ever growing, and now you've been forced onto a ship, and you probably have COVID. Is that pretty close?
I think so. I lost a little bit of the last part, but yes, I think you nailed it. I'm gonna try to move. Maybe the signal will get better. You know what it is? I also have an ESPN app, and it keeps coming on to tell me that somebody signed a contract. It goes dun 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 dun. Whatever the thing is. Let me try moving and see if I can get a little bit more controlled environment and stronger. Since we're doing audio, it doesn't matter what the background looks like. So here we go.
Yes. Now you don't sound
Any
robotic.
better?
Now you sound like you're in a large aircraft hangar.
I think you're in the bathroom.
In the bathroom. Says that's what the bed is coming from, Carolyn Plummer.
I'm in the ladies' room, and you girls, you got it made. This is nice. You have ice in your urinal. You don't use them. That's great.
They just have to have the option, Al. They don't have to do it. They have to have the option.
Yeah, I know.
don't
These
know.
days, you just never know who's going to walk in anyways and what they're going
That's
to pull
true.
out. So,
It's
just,
everyone has their
it's just
own
a matter
freedom
of-
to pull out or tuck in anything they want to do anywhere. So good luck. Good luck to all of you out there in Radio Land.
Tuck and roll, baby. Tuck and roll.
So I want to ask you first
right, fire
about the
away,
ship you're on.
kids.
Is it one of the new giant Royal Caribbean ships?
It is not, although I have been on a couple of those in the past. The Wonder is the latest. That baby just came on as their flagship cruise ship. But I was on the Brilliance of the Sea just a few weeks back, and that was holding the badge of the. Go ahead, that's okay. That was holding the badge of the flagship. But now I'm on the Jewel, one of the older ships now, 18, 19 years old. And she went under a $31 million restoration or renovation just as the pandemic took hold. So they spent $31 million on it, and nobody was on it for almost 2 years. So there you go. And now that stuff is all passé. So they're going to bring it back into dry dock and fix her up, change some light bulbs, new spark plugs, shine up the railings
in there
for the girls. You put in an alternator. It's all good. Yes, it's a splendid vessel, and I say that because I haven't been paid yet.
I want to ask you about F is for family. I know we've all. Yes.
That's that Bill Burr
How did you
animated
get
show,
that,
correct?
and what was the role you played, and what was that like, and how is that different than comedy? And that's all the questions I could think of.
Well,
Right.
you know Bill, and I know Bill. Everybody knows Bill. And
That was very
he gave me a
nice of
job
him.
so I could pay
Yeah.
my bills, pretty much. That's very nice. I actually still had to earn it. He just couldn't sign off on me. I had to jump through some hoops, but I was ahead of the herd. I didn't have to do any cattle calls or be on hold, or it's between you and another guy. It was pretty much sending my clips to the showrunner and the producers, and Vince Vaughn is executive producer, and a bunch of people at Netflix. and also an animated company had to all look at my little comedy bits that I do.
Right.
And as you know, I do a lot of voices. And they zeroed in on my kid on the phone. That's the character I play is Anthony Bonfiglio, and the kid on the phone bit is the one that got me the gig. So they invited me to go to a table read, and I'm thinking, okay, it's an animated show, a cartoon, if you will. I'll go sit down at a table with 12 people, and I'll read my little character. And it was in a ballroom of a big hotel, and or a conference room, I guess. We didn't wear dresses and tuxedos, but there was 85 people there, and all the bigwigs and all the entire cast. And they have some big stars as well. They have Sam Rockwell, Laura Dern, Vince Vaughn does some voices himself, and they have a lot of guest stars in. So I was the new guy with the smallest paycheck guy. And we went around our table read. When I got to my character, I did my high-pitched kid's voice. You know what? You know what? And the room just fell apart in the context of the script.
Man.
And we did that for about a half hour. And every time it got to me, of course, the writers were forcing their laughs or cueing the rest of everyone else when to laugh, but it was magical. And then the showrunner, Michael Price, approached me and said, welcome to Family Gal. And I actually already thought I had the gig.
That's a good way to go in, though.
He certified it.
That's awesome.
He crystallized the moment and said, made it official, and everybody applauded. And that was in season 3 that I came in, and we finished season 5 just a couple months ago, all the recordings, and that's it. It's the final season. But a glorious time. I did 3 out of 5, and I met some wonderful people, and it really put me in a position to get back on the ships.
Yeah, but here's a follow-up question, though. Do you now get thought of for voices for other things, voiceover work and other animated shows? There's certain people that do a ton of animated voices. I Billy West is one that pops into my mind right off the top.
Oh my God, he's a master.
Yeah. But do you think is that something you're thinking of pursuing? And if you did want to do that, how would you pursue that? Would you get a voiceover agent or?
Well, I've been doing voiceovers for over 30 years, and I started out in the Boston market, doing a lot of local stuff, regional stuff.
The chicken place?
And then my first the Boston market chicken place.
Yes.
I wish I had that account.
He's like, hi, can I get you just at a half a chicken or a quarter? Is that dark or white? Hi, I'm Al. I'll be doing the voiceovers for your meal.
You get 2 sides, okay? You get 2 sides.
I'll have the con.
I started doing some local car dealers and this, all that local stuff. Do you remember the Coop or the Co-op in Harvard Square, the bookstore?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had that account. I did that for a couple of years. And so when I moved to New York City, you would think, okay, that just slide me right into the voice over scene, and that's it. I got my golden ticket. No, you have to reintroduce yourself and reprove your abilities,
right,
and whatnot. And it's arduous. It's not that easy. And you're up against pros,
right?
So you're getting the cream of the crop from all over the country, and so it was kind of an on and off situation where I would be traveling for comedy, and then when I was in town doing voiceover work. But inevitably, I have multiple agents because they get tired of the comedian being on the road somewhere.
Right.
And they're like, "Hey, are you available tomorrow?" And I'm like, "No, it's a travel day. I'm flying back." And they're like, "Why didn't you tell us you were gone?" "Because I didn't want you to drop me." "Well, we're dropping you." So there's a lot of that, but it's hard, because you can go you can go weeks and months without a booking or a call back. It's very discouraging. And then all of a sudden, stand-up comedy is calling, saying, "Hey, you get in front of a live audience where they laugh at you, and you might go home with someone that will do things to you." It's
when's that going to happen for me? I'm still waiting for that.
It hasn't happened yet.
No.
But I'm still waiting. I didn't think. You know what it is? I thought the whole roofie thing was a myth. I had no idea that was a real thing.
We should have learned how to play instruments if we wanted that to happen.
That's just me. I'm just naive. What can I tell you? So here we go. Let's jump ahead. Let's time warp ahead to the Los Angeles thing.
Yes.
And it's a similar situation. And Los Angeles really is the cream of the crop. We have the Australians, we've got the British, the Canadians, and all the people from around the country, the Midwest, who are just dialed in on just voiceover. They're sitting in their mini mansions. They've got it all going on, and they don't do anything but voiceover work. And when you're thrown in that mix, it's very it's very competitive. Obviously, that's what I'm saying here. And if you're doing it full time, you definitely have an edge. And there's no guarantees with that. So, Did I get an agent? Yes. Is the agent discouraged with me traveling the globe?
Right.
But we just went through a pandemic, and I did some recordings in my closet.
Right.
And I came out of the closet. I'm doing them in the studio again. And
finally found someone who will touch you.
I just gave you 2 jokes.
Nice. Bill me. You know what? I think must be like.
I did some of those.
I think what must be frustrating for animation people of old was now famous people are doing animation. Like now they do commercials. There used to be people that just did commercials, and now like movie stars do commercial. Movie stars are an animated. Yeah. It's like, look, you're a beautiful person. Just be beautiful.
I have
let the average people be voices.
The Mel Blancs of the world.
Right.
Yes.
Do their thing.
Yeah. These people are making 7 figures, not making a movie for 2 years.
Right.
Just from residuals and whatnot. And then they muscle in on this other market. And it's so funny because, if you're making a pittance, decent money for voiceover actor for the amount of work you're putting in, but you do have to cultivate that. That's the hard part. You have to build up a reputation and work hard to get to that level. But these celebrities and ad agencies love to throw that money down, like $1 million to a celebrity, just to have them to say that they had them. We had Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
We had Mel Gibson.
It's almost like a corporate gig.
Do our voiceover, and Mel Gibson's never mentioned.
It's almost like
he's never mentioned.
It's almost like a corporate gig where they just want to hang out with them. You know what I mean? They have all this corporate money. They get to hang out with Mel Gibson for a day. Let's leave Mel alone. Mel's been through enough.
This is Mel this is Mel Gibson for Apple Computer. No, they don't. They just do the voice. And they go, oh, that sounds familiar. And they just throw them. Mel Gibson came out. I wasn't there for this, but this is the story I heard just before I came in. They said Mel Gibson came out and teased the other voiceover actors who were reading script. They were doing cold readings, and he came out and he went, wow, 20 minutes for $350,000. Woo! That was tough. And he walked through it and just destroyed everybody. The comedians supposedly laughed at it, but everybody else was a mess.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Look, it's in my rider. I don't have to carry my own money. It's too much.
Yes. But that's the name of the game. As you know, even in stand-up comedy, as long as we've been doing it, we have to be on our game. We have to be constantly sharpening our tools, and the rewards are amazing. Having that live response it gives us an opportunity to do other things like your show that you're doing now, podcasting. I have a web series that I do about 1950s detectives. They're politically incorrect. They're idiots. They have moronic behavior. I don't make a dime off of it, but I love doing it. It's part of my creative
really funny
process. Oh, thanks so much. And that is now.
Do you know who this is, by the way? It's Carolyn Plummer. I don't know if you heard.
Do you know Carolyn Plummer, Al?
Carolyn and I have worked together many times. Many
Yeah,
gigs.
I just didn't know if you knew it was me on the other. It's not my phone.
Right.
Well, you know what it is?
Phone number.
Here's the thing. You haven't given me your telephone number, so it's not coming up on my phone. It's a 781 number.
Yeah, I'm using someone else's phone because I have an Android. I can't
Android, the new sponsor of the Big
FaceTime.
Comedy Podcast with Jim
I have to use
McHugh.
Google
Android.
Duo.
Definitely not Apple. Apple is not sponsoring the Big Comedy Podcast.
Did you just work? Did you just work in? Did you just work in with Lenny Clark at the casino?
Yeah, I was at Mohegan's Sun. Yep,
Yes.
Oh,
I broke even
okay.
She broke even with the house.
with the with the gambling and what I got paid.
I got you. You had enough money for gas. I hope you had $100 to get home for gas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Move on.
No, it was fun. It was a blast down there.
As you know, Al, when you work with Lenny, the big pay is the story you go home with afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, especially when he's wearing yellow pants. That's a story within itself.
He wore green pants for St. Patrick's Day with yellow sneakers.
So you look like Usain Bolt. That's great.
Yep, it was good.
All right. Well,
I can actually hear myself 2.5 to 3 seconds later after I finish this.
That's
and
so
you sound
weird.
older by then.
It's nice.
So where are we, Jimmy? Jimmy, are you sending me off because of the connection?
Yeah. You know what? I think we should plug Al Ducharme and his
Absolutely.
social media and be gracious. And so give us a little bit of information where they can find Al Ducharme
And your show online.
and his show and his
Your pod thing. Your detective thing. That's so funny.
yeah.
Okay, sure. I'll give you all that info right now. So this will be a little bit of a monologue, and I apologize, but hopefully you'll be able to fill in some time. I'm performing live tomorrow night on the Jewel of the Seas. So if you have a fast boat or you can swim well, come see my show there. And you can also see my web series about the two dicks. It's called The Two Dicks. It's about detectives. When they call detectives dicks, it's not a porn thing. Do not try to Google it. Just go to YouTube, look comedy, The Two Dicks, 1950s detectives. You'll find it. Stand Up Al is my handle on most social media. My podcast is called the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast, and that's available everywhere you get your podcasts. And I am going to be performing. My calendar is always changing. And I perform, but here's my latest news, and this is public now, so I can talk about it. I was just inducted into the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame, and I'm very honored to be a part of that. And it's going to be at the inaugural.
awesome.
The inaugural one will be at its new home. Thank you. Its new home is going to be at Comedy Park or Park Comedy. I can't remember what they call it. It's the old Park Theater.
I think it's Park
that
Comedy.
I used to. It is Park Comedy in Cranston, my hometown where I was born and raised. And I used to watch second-run movies there because I was poor and cheap. And now I'm less poor, but I'm still very cheap. But they're renovating the whole place, and they're making it into a big venue for stand-up comedy. And again, the home of the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame. I think I got it all in there. Stand Up Al.
That is great. I mean, you are in the Comedy Hall of Fame.
In Rhode
That's
Island.
amazing. In the town
Yeah,
you grew
it's
up in.
good
It doesn't get any
That's
better than
awesome.
that, does it?
That's
No,
going
it's
to be a
great.
cool theater
Great.
too.
Yeah, I saw the rendition.
I think you should have your class reunion there.
Yeah.
You should have your class reunion there, Al. You just stand in front of your award. Go, what do I do? I'm sorry. What do I do?
It's a major award.
Oh,
I'm a major award winner.
Either there or a 55 plus
Award-winning
community. One or the
comedian.
Well, listen,
other. Yes.
thank you so much for being on the show today. I know you were we booked you at the last minute, and you were like, I'm on a cruise ship, but if we can make this work, I'll do it, and I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys. So good to hear both your voices that I look forward to performing with in the very near future. I'll talk to you after I'm inducted to the Hall of Fame. I'll still talk to you guys.
Oh, good. The little
Okay.
people. He'll still talk to little people.
I appreciate that.
All right, you guys. Be safe.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
too,
Al.
Al.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
So, Al's a great man. Very, very funny. Very funny. And,
I love his voices.
yeah, his voices are...
The Old West bit.
Yeah,
that
he does all the sound. He doesn't do just
does
voices,
sound
but all
effects.
the sounds. He does like a high noon gunfight. He does all the twirling and rattling of the guns and the
It's awesome.
Yeah, really. And I forgot about that. He used to do that little baby voice in his act,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cool that ended up getting him a gig.
Well, do you watch The Mandalorian?
I don't.
So I'm watching The Mandalorian, the last season, and Bill Burr's on it, but he's Bill Burr in space.
Oh, I think you told me that
It was
before.
awesome. I was like, oh, and he has the same accent.
All I know about that is a friend of mine told me that he has an action figure.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
I like when you get a Star Wars action figure. I think you're like made. You're jumped into the sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like he can go to a Comic-Con for the rest of his life and make a living.
They had a video game convention at Mohegan.
Yeah.
So at one point, I was waiting to go to a restaurant with Lenny, and a banana walked by in a sombrero with maracas. I was like, I don't know what game that's from, but that's pretty awesome. And there were characters like for the rest of the weekend down there. There's a lot going on down there.
That's awesome.
I'm like, what is happening?
Wow. So what do you got? What's you got looking forward? What you got for gigs coming up that we can plug?
I'm doing the Matt Light Foundation show next week, which I've never done before.
What is that?
He's an ex-Patriots player, and he has a foundation that he raises money for.
Oh, nice.
And it's a big fundraiser that they do. It's called Fool's Night Out. It's usually on April 1st, but it's on March 30th this year at Foxborough. And then I have a lot of fundraisers this weekend.
I thought it was going to be a fundraiser for people grieving the loss of our quarterback.
No, I guess it has something to do with sending kids to camp and doing programs in the outdoors for kids.
Okay.
I hope that's right.
It's not money to raise for people who are still mourning the loss of Tom Brady.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
We could start a foundation for that, and we could probably get people to
could.
meet.
I think there'd be a lot of fights.
It's just not the same without Tom. Tommy.
Now, is Mac Jones coming back, though?
Who?
Mac Jones?
I don't know. I know nothing about sports.
Oh.
Obviously.
He was the quarterback this year, Jim.
Yeah, he did nothing for me. I boycotted the league this year.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
I'm like, you should at least know his name, Jim.
Yeah, I wash my hands and my feet of them.
I'm done with you. They'll suck you back in.
Well, that sounds like a great show, though.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
It should be great. Like, it'll have Tony V and like all the Boston guys. Lenny's on it. Christine Hurley. I've always wanted to do it, so I'm excited about that.
That's great. I am going to be at this club up in Portsmouth called McHugh's Comedy Club, oddly enough. I know somebody that works there. He was able to get me a gig.
That's awesome.
Yes, so...
That's a fun club if you've never been, my New Hampshire people, if you're listening to this. It's right in Portsmouth at the Circle of Death, I like to call it.
Yes.
Because I learned how to drive with driver's ed in that circle.
Oh, you did?
Yes, the Portsmouth traffic circle. Terrifying when you don't know how to drive yet.
And it's nice of them to put a state liquor store on the Rotary.
Right on the Rotary.
If you don't have enough to deal with. Load your car up with booze and try it again.
There used to be an adult bookstore off one of the exits, too. I think
These are a few of my favorite things. Yeah.
I'm going to get some porn and some vodka and head back to Massachusetts. It's a fun club, though.
Why do they not sell fireworks there? That's the only thing that's missing.
I know. I think they sell those in Seabrook.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So you got to drive to Seabrook for the fireworks.
Yeah.
You got everything. Live free or die.
I don't know what more you could look for in a civilized or uncivilized place than
Guns.
guns,
I think you can
fireworks.
buy guns in Portsmouth, too.
What's that?
I think you can buy guns in the Portsmouth area.
I would think so, yeah.
I feel like you can buy guns anywhere now.
Yeah. We can go over to the best place you go to. Here's a free plug. Kittery Trading Post.
Oh, yeah. You can get
You could arm
bow and arrows.
You could arm 25% of the Ukrainian army with what they have upstairs at the Kittery Trading Post.
You need a kayak, some boots, some Carhartts.
Whatever you need.
And a
furry hats.
Bow and arrows.
Heated boots. Heated tents. Tree stands with cable TV.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever you need, they got it.
I used to love going out.
And a myriad of very dusty stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Like they have giant mooses in there, and they have like a bear. They got they're all in an angry pose. Like I don't remember seeing when you see them in the wild, they're not all like reared up and ready to attack. For some reason, when they get slaughtered with somebody with, then they repose them as if it's.
They pose them like, well, I had to. It was self-defense.
Yeah, like if you shot a person, they wouldn't like freeze them like a statue in attack mode, and then wheel them into court.
That would be fun.
It's like, I think this moose was probably just having a drink out of a stream when you popped it. I don't think this coyote was really, on his hind legs snarling. He's probably just minding his own business.
Minding his own business.
Sunning his belly in a sunny spot in the forest.
People will use taxidermy for anything too. Like,
yeah.
For a while, it was fashionable to do your pets, like taxidermy your pets.
That should be an option for your husband or wife. You should be able to put them in your favorite position.
I think you can if you're a serial killer.
Yeah, you could have your husband in the Barca Lounger. Would you really miss him? Would your life change that much at all if you just?
It's like he never left.
Nothing's changed in our relationship.
He's still with me.
I talk to him. I don't feel like he's listening. Could pre-record snoring sounds.
Oh,
it's perfect.
it's so weird.
Never be lonely taxidermist.
I wouldn't want my pet stuffed though.
No,
that's weird.
I don't think so. Yeah, pets are tough. We just cremated one.
I know. I'm like, Jim, are you okay?
I know. Well, it's
a hot button topic.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with we just had a cat pass, and like throwing. I don't know that throwing the ashes of a cat on the ocean are what the cat wanted per se.
They probably didn't like water.
Right. So I think we're gonna go with a forest summer thing.
You could just have an urn with a paw print.
Well, we have it's probably gonna stay in our living room for the rest of our lives. Thanks for that. Yeah. When you're indecisive, that's what you do. You let the people that.
My stepmother's brother lived at my dad's house for probably 15 years before they did something with his ashes.
My father wanted his ashes spread over Annapolis on graduation day.
On graduation day?
Do you know why?
So they get to breathe them in?
No, it's white uniforms. They all have white uniforms.
Oh, that's hilarious. That sounds like your dad.
He used to say that all the time. He's like, on Annapolis, this is what I want you to do. Get my ashes and just fling them out on Annapolis over graduation day. I'm like, you gave this a lot of thought. He goes, yeah, they're wearing their whites. I'm like, I get awesome. It. Got it.
I met your dad at Helen's wedding. He was great.
Oh, you did? Yeah. He's.
You could tell when he was done, though. I've had enough wedding.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to go home.
I had a big 50th birthday party, and he just got up and announced to everyone
that he was leaving.
It was over. It's like, we rented a hall. You could just go home. You have to dismiss everyone else. No, enough is enough. I'm like, for you.
I love that, though. That's how I felt this weekend. I'm done. I'm going to bed.
I know. That's
been up long enough.
All right. Well, I think we have enough audio and some video. We don't know how much, but there is some.
Al's just an avatar, but that's okay.
Yeah, but he's a voice cat now. So we got a little robotic voice, a little F is for family baby voice. Yeah. We got him in a ladies' room, perhaps.
It seemed like a cavernous space wherever he was. And he kept talking to people.
He was below decks. Yeah, I know those places there. And so that was great. And so look for Al. Look for Carolyn Plummer. She's got a really cool gig. And I'm Jim McHugh, and I think if you already found me, you probably know how to find me.
Yeah.
I'll be here, and Jim McHugh. If you look up Jim McHugh, there's me, and there's a guy who writes about horse racing. We're the two Jim McHughes.
Remember, we're in Pennsylvania, and the guy put me. He goes, we did a newspaper article with a local newspaper guy, and he called Jim and I, and he told at the beginning of my article about me, he wrote that I found 3 Carolyn Plumbers, 2 were dead, and then I found a comedian. I was like, that's a great way to start a piece on. You
don't have to share every piece of information you find, maybe. Yeah.
I'm the alive Carolyn Plummer, carolynplummer.com.
So, winning. We were going to book the first 2 Carolyn Plumbers for the comedy show, but they're deceased. So all we could say about the one we hired is she is not deceased. And she'll be performing. And we're all very happy about that. We're going to hold our review until afterwards.
Who starts an article? Thank you for writing the article, though. I think it probably drew a crowd to the theater.
Okay. All right. That's it. We're going to sign off awkwardly, which is our trademark.
True.
Like people say, have you listened to the big comedy podcast? They really sign off awkwardly. That's kind of their strong suit. I've heard that. The awkward one.
We need a catchphrase.
We should be the big awkward comedy podcast with Jim McHugh and Carolyn Plummer.
We don't know how to end it podcast.
Yeah.
And scene.
I like to end this the way I end my stand-up, which is usually with people in the audience going, get off. Just get off.
I guess that's it.
Not funny. Enough is enough with you. You're horrible. I can't believe they pay you to do this to people. We just wanted a few laughs, and now we can't even have that. Yeah. That's what we're all about here at the Big Comedy Podcast. Bringing back the pain. Dialing it back. All right. I really don't know how to sign off. I don't know. I'll just go until... Goodbye.
Bye.
Y'all come back now here.